Yep, I'm ready too. Sorry.
Oh, you're ready now? You ready
Just
now?
now. Yeah,
You
just
ready
now.
now? Are
Yes,
you ready
I am.
now? Because
Fuck yeah,
we're
I am.
live with episode
I'm fucking
136 of Beastly Thoughts. Live.
Woo!
Holla. Dollar,
Holla
make
back.
you holla.
Oh shit!
Briar, what kind of shit are you on today?
Somebody's been to the
Mostly
strip
just
club
alcohol.
this weekend. Yeah.
Hey,
Mostly.
same.
How you doing, guys? Good to see you.
You too. I'm doing fantastic.
Nobody
Or
likes a
Beastly
quitter,
just-
Beastly. Quitters never win.
What's up, fellas?
How you
How you
doing?
guys doing this week, man? Doing real good, man. It's been a very enjoyable gaming week for me.
Good.
Some of my greatest dreams have become realities. I've been looking forward to seeing you guys. God, this week went by so fucking quick. It seems like we just did 135. Here we are
Right.
at 136. 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
So it's one of those good weeks. I've done a lot this week, but it all went by quick. The funny thing about this time of year is when you're spending money, it's
Yeah.
almost the same as having fun. So it flies when you're having fun or spending money. So here we are.
You're into that too. I love Christmas shopping. I know, like, most people hate it, and it can get tedious at times, but I actually really enjoy it. When I find that perfect gift for somebody, like, it really does make me happy. And then I can't
like
wait
that.
for Christmas
To see him with it, yeah.
to see him open it. You know, like, it's really fun. Especially
Well-
once you have kids. It's better once you have kids.
Let me just say this. If you do a lot of eBay Christmas shopping like I do, be very cautious because right now there's a lot of deals going on. And one thing in particular I picked up for somebody special in my life, spent a good deal of money on it. 2 or 3 days later, I got a message saying that they're out of stock and now I got to wait for my fucking refund. And I'm like,
Ah.
well, I got something else to go with this gift. Now you're out of stock. It's like ham, no burger, you know, from Friday.
It's like getting the
You know?
batteries, but not the toy.
Peanut butter, no jelly. What the hell?
You
So
so
now I
peanut
gotta
butter and no
figure-
jelly?
Yeah, it's insane. I'm looking forward to the show, guys. I picked up a few new games this week. Some games I told you guys I'd be getting.
Yo,
And
I
actually,
saw you on Twitter. We got a
Yeah.
disagreement about Infinite Warfare, don't we?
a little bit. Well,
Yeah.
put it this way: Infinite Warfare, I said it's okay for the moment, right?
Yeah.
You don't like Infinite Warfare. I actually haven't played it. I watched Kate play it. The reason I watched her play it is because I've been playing something else that completely has engulfed my mind to the point where I can't even write my Dishonored 2 review. I've been playing The Last Guardian by Team Eco. And for the people who don't know, it's true. This is the next evolution of Shadow of the Colossus, which is one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games
The
of all
best
time.
PS2 game ever made.
It's a strong contender. Strong contender. And I guess right now we'll go on and get into what we've been playing because I have, I got a couple of new games. Some I've been playing, some of them I haven't had the opportunity to get back into, like Titanfall 2. Haven't played that at all. I watched maybe the first 2 hours of Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which it looks great. It's one of the best looking Call of Duty games I've seen.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
It looks
very pretty.
phenomenal. It's a beautiful game. But I did start playing The Last Guardian. And let me just tell you this. I was trying to articulate to myself earlier today what I would say about this game and why it's special to me. This game is special because just like in Shadow of the Colossus, you don't absolutely know what your objective is, but you instinctively go forward and do it. You instinctively know what to do. It's kind of like you build this relationship with this creature named Trico. And I swear to God, I'm considering renaming my cat Trico. Because
Or
it's
just
such.
rename.
That's a dope
It's
name
going
for
with a
cat.
rename.
I'm like,
I'd
fuck
be
it.
down.
Harley Quinn is cool, but I don't see
They don't
you
come when you
laugh.
call it anyway, so fuck
Yeah,
it. We can
I
rename
mean-
it.
She doesn't do crazy shit like Harley Quinn. I've never seen her hold a mallet or a baseball bat, but she acts just like Trico. The creature that
Meaning
they've
she doesn't do what you want her to do.
absolutely hell no, she doesn't. It's so real, right? This
It's like
creature
a real
that
cat bird dog
I
thing.
swear to you guys, that this thing in this game is so real. I found myself talking to it throughout the gameplay
Uh-huh.
and feeling bad when things were happening to it. And I'd run up to it and I'd pet it and say, it's going to be okay. It would get stressed out like a real animal in a hostile situation. There are certain things that it does not like when it sees it and it gets afraid. And you've got to handle this obstacle so this gigantic beast can go forward with you. And the bond is building. Right now, I'm maybe 5 hours in. I'm surprised I didn't really have a chance to play it today. I did a ton of YouTube videos today, so I really didn't have time. But you build this very meaningful relationship with this creature. You don't know what's going on. At this point, I have no clue why I woke up and this thing was next to me. That's part of the mystery that it kind of unfolds by the time you get to the end of the game. It all makes sense, kind of like Journey. And the original PlayStation 3 game Journey, you didn't know what you were doing. All you knew is you were trying to get to the top of this mountain. You didn't know what the objective was and what your real motivations were until the end. And then you realize, wow, this is a very spiritual thing. I feel like this is something really similar. The Last Guardian, first of all, building the relationship with this creature, feeding it. It actually gets hungry. And when it gets hungry, it lays down and looks at you like, oh my God, I need some food. You go find it some food. It gets happy and runs around the same way a dog or a cat would when they get a burst of energy. And
tell me about it.
Later on in the game, yeah, I know you know, Robbie. Later on in the game, you get the ability to actually give it commands. For the first couple of hours, you can't give it commands at all. And so it basically does what the hell it wants to do, like a real animal. And you're kind of on the sidelines watching it. It might notice something that you don't. And you're looking like, what the hell is it looking at? And you look up and you see what it's looking at, gives you a whole new objective. But after the first few hours, you get the ability to make it stay where it's at, sit, lay down, whatever, to take you someplace, to go there by itself, to go look for things. It just feels really amazing. It is not something that I could really articulate extremely well here on the Beastly Thought Show, other than to say that there's nothing else like it on PlayStation. There's nothing else like it. Briar, something you said months ago, I don't know what episode of the show we were on, was that in the early, build of the game and actually seeing it at these conferences, it didn't really look that great. I can't say that now. I can't say that. It's one of the greatest looking games on PlayStation. It really is.
All right,
Especially,
I got some questions for you.
Bring it on.
If you're going to talk about graphics, I've been looking at this game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain parts of it that look phenomenal, like the feathers on the dog look astounding.
Mm-hmm.
But like the geometry and the textures on like the levels, they do look old. They look like a PS3 or a PS2 game.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree. Disagree. I totally do. We'll probably have, if you ever pick up this game, we'll have to have this discussion again.
Okay.
But today I rendered some videos, and while I was rendering it, I was pausing my renders and looking, and it looked like a fucking 4K image, but it was actual gameplay. The textures might look not extremely detailed, but they definitely don't look like something out of a PlayStation 3. It looks like PS4 quality, but you got to keep in mind.
Are they pulling a Nintendo here where the art style is so good that it makes up for the technical deficiency?
Possibly, but this is one thing you got to keep in mind. This game is built in the same world as Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. So they're maintaining a certain visual aesthetic that has to bridge the gap between generations while still at the same time giving it a visual boost. I think that's exactly what they did here. It does feel like the physical, or I guess real representation of the future technology from Shadow of the Colossus. They're not going to make it photorealistic. Those characters in Eco and Shadow of the Colossus don't look photorealistic. Team Eco created their own particular art style with the characters and with the world.
Yeah.
But Shadow of the Colossus was like astounding, like on a technical level when that game was released.
For its time, yeah, it really was. It still holds up today. If you have the remastered versions on PS3, it still holds up today. But to me, like watching it, playing it, I've been through tons of places. It's an extremely huge and vast world. Not on the same level as Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus, you could run and ride a horse for an hour just going nowhere. There's actual meaningful places for you to go. But when you see the verticality and you look down and you realize, wow, 10 minutes ago I was there. It's just a huge, vast, open environment. Everything to me looks great. It complements the particular art style that Team Eco has kind of let gestate over these 10 years.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a Team Eco game.
It does.
No doubt.
And let me just say, when you watch regular YouTube videos, I don't know if people are rendering them a certain way, and I can't say that everybody's doing it wrong. But what I see, the game looks phenomenal. If we're going to talk about this game, we have to talk about some of the animation. I've seen some of the best animation I've seen in any game I've seen in this game.
Are you running this on a PS Pro or a regular PS4?
I don't have pro money, not after that PSVR at Christmas. But
it does take advantage of the PS Pro, though.
It does, yeah. I saw Digital Foundry's video on that. It does. I'm going to get one probably in the next couple of months. But when you see the animations of this Trico creature or the
Bird
animations of the boy. It's incredible. I've seen a lot of these animations, believe it or not, in Shadow of the Colossus. Trico, this bird dog creature, has some of the same animations from the horse that you rode in Shadow of the Colossus. They were able to
neat.
maintain some of those animations, and the boy does have some of the same animations from Wanderer from Shadow of the Colossus as well. But it looks really good. It's one of those games that some people are going to love it. I'm in the love camp right now.
Yeah.
Totally. There's really nothing I can say. My kids came over. My boys come for the weekend this year, and when they came over, they wanted to play Infinite Warfare and get into that. They came and sat down in the living room next to me, and they were like, "Wow, this looks awesome." They ended up staying the entire night watching me play it. The entire night.
I got one more question for you.
Absolutely.
All right. So there seems to be, from what I've read about this game, I haven't played it yet, and I don't know if I'm gonna because I can't tell which two groups of gamers I would fall into. But there seems to be two groups of discussion about this game. These guys who are reviewing it very poorly, saying that the control system it's frustrating because Trico doesn't do what you want him to, and he's got to be in just the right spot at just the right time. And sometimes you think you've got the solution to a puzzle, and Trico doesn't do what you expect him to do, so you go spend 15 more minutes. Yeah, you go spend 15 more minutes trying to figure out the puzzle, and then it turns out you were right the first time. It was just waiting for Trico to just
Get
do
into the right
his
position.
thing.
Yeah.
And other people on the other side of that same argument are saying, well, that's how a pet would act, right? You can't just command a pet.
Briar, let me just say this, okay? There were times in this game where that happened. There was this one particular area where I was looking up, and it was like a giant hole in the ceiling. And I looked around in this spot probably for 20 minutes trying to figure out where I needed to go. And I finally found out I was able to get Trico through this gate that he couldn't get through before. And I went down into the hole, and he followed me. And I was looking up at him, and I kept telling him to jump, And he was looking up, but he was still kind of in an area that he couldn't really see it. So he was looking around. And I was like, wow, this is really amazing. And I stayed with him for about 2 or 3 minutes, watching him look. He'd look over at me. I mean, it's like the thing's alive, okay? He looked over at me like, what are you talking about? And I kept, moving over to this area and looking directly at what I wanted him to do. After about a minute or two, he stumbled over and kind of looked and got into position, and he did what my cats do. He dipped his head 3 times, gauging the distance, and then jumped up there, and I grabbed onto his tail. Mm-hmm. Something like that's so magical to me that the fact that he doesn't, as soon as you push a button, do it. It overrides that.
So
I know
that's where I don't know if I could play this game because I think I would get so frustrated that when I hit the button, he didn't do it the first time, and then I went and wasted 15 minutes trying to figure out the puzzle some other way, and to come back to that original thing, that would be really frustrating to me.
Well, let me just say, I played the game for about 5 hours.
That's why I make a shitty pet owner, I guess.
Absolutely. Let me just say, I played the game for 5 hours, and it was nonstop, and it's been great. I've only had minimal instances of confusing times like that where he didn't do what he needed to do.
Okay.
There was one area where I was on his back, and he needed to take me to jump over this huge valley. This thing has some ups, man. And I was waiting for him to jump, and he just looked around for about 30 or 40 seconds, and finally he jumped. And some people might get upset at that and say, God damn it, as soon as I push the button, you're supposed to do it. But I think Team Eco, they really set out to do something that no one else has. Yeah. They put a real pet in a game. That's the only way I can describe it. When I played this game, I swear to you, I'm not joking, I feel like this thing is alive. That's how I feel when I interact with it. When it gets afraid or we get attacked by some of these golem creatures and they throw spears at him and he's tripping out, okay? He's attacking them for you. He kills them. And then he's tripping out, shaking, and he's afraid. And when you walk by him and he gets afraid of you because he doesn't know that you're not one of them, he sees you by his leg and he jumps out of the way and you run over to him and you pet him to kind of calm him down. Then you climb on him and you look around to find these spears and you yank him out of him and he turns and looks at you. It's such an amazing feeling. They've done something here that to me trumps what Shadow of the Colossus did. You're able to crawl on this gigantic beast that's alive the same way you could in Shadow of the Colossus, but they've built truly meaningful relationship here between this boy and this creature. And I implore anybody watching the show, if you believe anything I've ever said before, I promise you I won't steer you wrong. If you have a cat or a dog and you like your animal, you're going to love this game. Imagine being in a world where your cat or your dog was a giant and you needed that thing to protect you and keep you alive, and it depended on you as well.
I'd be
Really
doomed.
cool. Yeah, man. Yeah.
You'd be doomed. It's really incredible, guys. I promise you, I haven't beat it. That's the only reason right now, I swear to God, that's the only reason I'm not going to say it's my game of the year. That's the only reason. So far, I enjoyed this more than I've enjoyed Uncharted 4.
Wow.
Wow. Really?
Cool.
Wow.
That's the thing that makes the world go round.
I can't decide on this game. Like, eventually, I'm definitely gonna try it out, I guess. But that description of like being frustrated, like, it scares the shit out of me with this game.
Well, there's a lot of people who are frustrated with Destiny not having a story mode, but you said, to hell with that, I'm going to do my thing.
Hey, yeah.
The thing with Destiny, though, is the controls are spot on. It's the rest of the shit.
The good thing about this game is, right, it does have the same controls as Shadow of the Colossus, the exact same. So I know you're going to have an issue with that. But the good thing is it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive, and you can change the buttons now. So even myself, I ran into a few instances where I tried to jump, and I actually dropped because I was trying to jump somewhere from a ledge or from a chain. And instead of jumping, my character leaned out, and I hit X. And to me, in most third-person action-style games, I dropped directly to my death. But I kept it the way it is because I feel like it's a part of this world that they tried to create. That this game and the Eco series are so different that they feel it's justified for you to play it differently, to kind of develop a whole new ecosystem around their experiences. And so that's the only reason I didn't change it. I want it to stay the way that they saw that it should be, even though we're in 2017 and people play games pretty much the same way. Every first-person shooter controls the exact same way. They felt that this is a different type of experience, and they wanted to kind of showcase that by allowing you to play it in a different way. But the good thing about PlayStation is you can actually change it if you see fit. The game is really amazing, guys. There's really nothing else I can say more than that. It's more than what we're used to playing, And I honestly feel like, I swear, I'm not going to exaggerate.
There's nothing wrong with this game.
Flawless game, obviously.
I don't think there's ever a perfect game. The
Last Guardian is that perfect game.
You can nitpick any game, right? But I think that the good here outshines the bad so much. If you are the target audience, which I am, I'm the target audience. I love Shadow of the Colossus. I loved Eco to a lesser degree. So I figured I would really, really love what they were doing here. I'm the target audience. And the thing that appeals to me is what they knew would appeal to their audience. That it trumps the previous two games. It looks better. It plays better. But there's a more meaningful relationship here. Yeah. You're not alone, wandering the vast plains. You're actually building a tangible relationship with this creature that is changing throughout the game. I'm not going to spoil anything, but something is happening to this creature.
No, we got to talk after the show. We got to talk. If that dog dies, I'm not playing this game.
Oh, well.
We got to talk. Because if that dog dies at the end, I'm not playing. I want to know.
I don't think that's happening. But there is a tangible changes happening with this creature. I know you guys have seen the Let's Plays where the little boy picks up like the barrels and Trico gets down and eats them.
Yeah.
And it's like green stuff. Whatever this stuff is, this beast is incredibly addicted to it. There was this one portion of the game where there was a big vat of it sitting on a train track, and this Trico stuck his head in the hole and would not remove his head because all the smell from it was just permeating through this area of a building. So you had to find a way to close it. I don't know what that stuff is doing and how, exactly what it is for him, but there's definitely something happening with this creature. And, this relationship that you're building with it throughout the game is just something so different. I can't put my finger directly on it, but all I can say is this. You've played every type of game before. We all have. We've experienced first-person shooters, adventure games, sports simulators. This is fucking Tamagotchi meets an RPG meets a third-person adventure game set in a beautiful dreamscape type of land. And that
sounds crazy to me.
Really incredible.
That's quite a description.
Well, I mean, it's like a pet simulator, but it's more meaningful than that.
Pet Simulator 2016.
It really is. The stuff that you do really matters to this creature, and it gets to the point where it's saving your ass, and you're like, wow, now after all the stuff we've been through together,
Yeah.
you're actually saving me. It sees you in tough spots, and it does things that you would really expect your pet, your dog, to do to protect you, and it just feels so real. I know it's all programmed. I know it's all pre-conditioned, but it feels in the moment. It feels so genuine. And to me, it's more amazing the fact that Eco was able to convey that in a video game, that it feels real. It doesn't feel like some, writer and developers put this together. This thing feels alive. And to me, that's something more than most developers could ever say.
That's pretty strong. When a game can make an emotional attachment, that's pretty strong.
That's important. Especially for a game like this that is so reliant on narrative and the relationship between the bird dog, Trinko, and the son. Well, obviously that's important.
I think to say that Team Eco games are heavily reliant on narrative, I don't know if that's the case. I really can't say that. People see it as that, but if you could probably put every word written in all 3 games together on 2 pages.
Yeah.
Because it's really not narrative. The thing that they've done in these games is they open your mind up to what's happening. It's all your particular interpretation of what this character is going through. They don't lead you and say, I'm feeling bad. You look at the character and you feel bad. So they kind of open up a whole new way of playing a video game, and I'm loving it. I'm actually very happy I didn't get Final Fantasy 15 first, because I haven't played a game like this in a long time.
You're not that big a fan of Final Fantasy.
It's going to be unique, I'm sure. Are you really excited for Final Fantasy there, Beastly? Are you sure about that?
Yes, I am.
Are you really sure?
Damn it, Joe.
All right, I think Beastly that you've convinced me to at least give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it last.
I might wait until it goes on sale. I might wait to see it discounted. Because it's not like a multiplayer game that I feel like I immediately need to jump in or I'm going to miss it. But I do feel like I do need to check this out.
Experience. I bet you. It's gonna be really
cool. I'm happy to keep you guys open-minded. Like I said, some people who want that immediate satisfaction of I just hit the triangle button, this fucking dog thing is supposed to breakdance right now.
God damn it, bird dog! What's wrong with you?
Those people are going to be a little upset. But for those people who know how animals really act, and if you're trying to convey to your dog or your cat, sometimes if you're training a dog or a cat, you're going to have to go through the motions more than once. You're going to have to say, sit, and the dog might not listen. Look at you like you're crazy. You might do it 2 or 3 times until they understand.
Dude, I played in 10 dogs. I know what's up.
Word.
That's not like taking care of a real pet, Briar, just to let you know. Real pets take a lot more work.
I'm sorry I took so long talking about that game, guys. But
no, I'm interested. I'm really interested in that game because I'm really on the fence about it because I look at the footage of the game. I'm not that impressed. I mean, stylistically, it's beautiful, but it's not technically all that impressive to me.
Very unique niche game.
I hear people talking about their experience of connecting with Trico, but then I also hear the experiences of people just being frustrated with the controls. So it's like, it's really up in the air. It's this mix of different opinions that it's hard to wade through. So I'm glad to hear yours.
Yeah, thank you, Beastly, for providing your opinion on this. I'm glad to hear it, and I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to playing it. I think it's just going to be a unique game. It's going to be something really cool, and I'm excited to try it.
I've played a lot of games, guys, and this year I bought so many games that I haven't played. I still haven't played Far Cry Primal. I bought Mad Max this year.
You haven't played Far Cry?
No.
Briar!
Oh, my God.
Way to talk.
Really, Potts? Are you going to call the kettle black right now?
Black is midnight.
All joking aside, I have at least 10 to 15 games on PS4. I got a couple on Xbox One I haven't played. So I want to play them all. I don't have the time like I used to. And then I find myself looking at just a list of games that I just haven't had the chance to play. But I'm really happy I pulled the trigger and got The Last Guardian because it's different.
You gonna put up a full review on your channel?
Absolutely, man.
All right.
As soon as the game allows me to finish writing my review for Dishonored 2, then I'm gonna write my review for The Last Guardian because it's so good, man. It really is. It's incredible. So
Robbie,
what have you guys been playing this week?
Yeah, Robbie, talk to me.
Oh, talk to me, baby. All right. Sorry, that was creepy. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know who you're talking to either.
I apologize. Okay.
I'm going to assume it's you because...
Didn't call myself baby? That wouldn't make any sense, but sure.
All right, Bieber. Go ahead.
Stop it. fucking hate that guy. Anyways, God, I've been playing a lot of stuff this week, man. Been playing more Dark Souls 3 because, like, I love that game so much.
Another game I bought that I haven't played.
Oh, it's so good. You absolutely got to play that, especially with a friend. It's nice because when you get really stuck and you're getting really frustrated, it'll help. But yeah,
so Dark Souls 3 and what else, Robbie? I know you said a lot of stuff. You mentioned one game. That's not a lot. So what else have you been playing this week?
I'm not done.
Let's go.
All right. So I've been playing a couple of games that I picked up for Black Friday that I hadn't even started yet. Another one of those, which I'm really enjoying, is Just Cause 3. Came out about a year ago now. I'm sure you guys know.
Another game that I bought that I haven't played.
Yeah. Another one. But yeah, it's really cool, man. You know, it's sort of like a GTA style, kill guys, drive around, blow things up. It's set on the tropical islands, I think I want to say the Bahamas? I don't remember exactly, but it's this beautiful, gorgeous island. The water's beautiful, man. Oh my god, it's such a pretty game. It's just so fun, though. My favorite part about it has to be wingsuiting. Just wingsuiting around the island, that is so fun, traversing from place to place. And yeah, it's just really cool. I really dig it a lot. And then also I'm going to be playing Watch Dogs 2 as well this week because I just picked that up, so I'm looking forward to it. But yeah.
I have not bought Watch Dogs 2. It sounds like you've been having an exciting week. I played probably an hour of Just Cause 3. After playing it, I was like, it doesn't feel like a game to me. You know, ziplining across the mountains and, maybe it's just me. I just felt like it was
traversal is so fun though, like grappling and then opening the wingsuit and going in the paraglide. It's so fun to traverse though. That's got to be my favorite part about it.
Yeah, well, that's part of the reason I never played it anymore. But okay, Brian, what have you been playing this week?
Good
I've been playing Upgrade Your Internet for you and your family.
That's on PlayStation 4 or that's on PC, definitely. Right?
And I'll tell you, the buy-in is expensive, right? This is certainly not a free-to-play game.
No.
It is an expensive game. It doesn't run real good. Like, it's hard to get running. But it's funny. I was sitting there. It was late at night. I came to bed. I was going to watch a couple of YouTube videos as I kind of nod off to sleep. And before one of the YouTube videos played, I got a commercial for my local internet company, Cox Internet, who said, we now offer, this like Platinum Plus super duper, like in your face internet with like basically 6 to 10 times the speed that I was currently getting.
Wow.
And since I've lived in this house, I think 4 or 5 years now. I've been calling Cox like every 6 months or so, like, hey, can I get faster internet yet? So finally I can get it. Call up Cox. I think this is going to take like half hour to get the whole thing said and done. Turns out I got to go to the Cox like store to go and get like a new modem, and then they don't have the right modem. They only got the Wi-Fi thing. On and on it goes. 8 hours later, after all sorts of technical problems and technical support saying they wanted to transfer me to the sales team.
That's not a good sign.
No. I finally get it working. I tell my mother about it. She wants me to come down to her house and hook her up.
You're a big mouth.
Wow.
I finally did. Let me call mom and tell her how good I did.
Yeah.
Great weekend, man. Setting up internet for my family. Yeah.
Right. So now, like, I'm really happy because I went from 5 megabits per second upstream to 30. So that's like a big jump for me. 30.
Whoa.
It's always upstream that makes a difference to me. Because I'm a content creator. I'm trying to stream. I'm trying to upload to YouTube. So it's an incredible difference. I wish I could get faster, but that's as fast as I can get. I know a lot of people have 900 up. That's not available in my area.
Oh,
Holy
that's crazy, though.
Seriously?
That's nuts.
Yeah. So that's what I've been up to. And it's kept me away from my computer because I've just been dealing with it. But it's finally all set up. And, man, it's made a world of difference. It's so much fast. It takes 10 minutes to upload a video as opposed to like 45 to an hour.
Wow.
That's the difference. When I stream, I can stream at the highest bit rate now. I don't have to like keep stepping it down because we're dropping frames and stuff. So it should just increase the quality.
We don't have Cox here in Georgia. We got these dicks, AT&T.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. So the cost of what you had compared to what it is now, what did they double it or triple it? How did that work?
$10 extra a month.
Oh fuck! Are you serious?
Yeah, because The difference is it's really $20 extra a month, but I was renting a modem, which I stopped doing. I just went to Best Buy and bought one, so I didn't have to pay a monthly fee for it. So that I paid $100 for the modem, but got $10 off my bill per month.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So it's really $20 more per month, but since I got rid of that modem rental fee,
it's $10 a month.
But Briar, I've heard enough about the story of how you set up your parents' Wi-Fi. How is the actual gameplay when it comes to setting up your family's Wi-Fi, though? I have to know.
Man, it's great, man, because there's this really great crawling under furniture mechanic that, I mean, you just got to be there.
Yeah?
There's this cobwebs in your hair thing. Like,
it sounds immersive.
VR's got nothing on this.
What?
It's like you're actually getting spiders in your hair.
now, Brian, I've heard conflicting reviews on this Sebby Mom's internet.
Yeah.
I've heard some people say that the controls suck, and once you play it a certain way, you can get all dirty and grimy. But the other people say that the glee in your mother's eyes, once it's set up, is worth it. Kind of like The Last Guardian.
The fact is, your mother doesn't know the difference either fucking way. It plays solitaire exactly the same as it used to.
Oh, that's great. That is so great.
It browses Amazon at exactly the same speed as it did the day before. So the glee is feigned.
That's great.
There is no emotional connection at all.
Solitaire at 120 frames per second.
Yeah, right. Solitaire, man. I mean, her response time on Solitaire is just second to none right now.
And everybody, they gotta wait. She's boop, boop.
Yeah.
Good shit.
I also been playing more Witcher 3. That game is my current obsession, right? When I have a few minutes of free time, it goes down to Witcher 3. And I love the way that game is formatted because even though it's this huge, expansive RPG, I can really just sit down for 15 minutes and play like a quest line and knock it out, right? And just like feel like I've made progress in that game. Maybe I got a little experience. Maybe I earned a little money. Maybe I learned a little bit something about the characters. That game is my obsession right now. It's just a fantastic game.
God damn it. And see, that's something that I know it's great, right? I mean, I put 15 hours in on the game. I completely deleted my save recently because there's no way I could play a game a year ago and go back in 15 hours in and know what the hell I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
I need a complete refresher course on the controls, how to use spells and everything. I know how great it is. It's one of those things where I played it. I know it's awesome, but somehow I got sidetracked into some other shit. But I promise you, I will get back to it. I know it's great, Briar. I remember the feeling of, wow, this game is really second to none as far as what they're doing here with CD Projekt Red. I'm happy that you found a second love. Now, the question is, how does your real wife, Destiny, feel about you cheating? Or is she
Destiny,
okay with...
Next week is going to be a huge week for Destiny because we're getting the Dawning event. We're getting the Return of Sparrow Racing League. We're getting some new strikes. We're getting some new exotic weapons. Like, it's a big week for Destiny, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Better take Destiny out for dinner, too, and do some nice things for her, you know?
Right. You know, I didn't forget her. I was out Christmas shopping yesterday. I didn't forget Destiny.
Got that sexy lace emote.
Sent some nice stuff over to Deej, the community manager. I didn't forget about you, baby.
This is something I actually talked about on my channel. It's coming up this week. There's been some rumblings about Destiny 2 and certain developers working with Bungie.
Yeah, Vicarious Visions.
Vicarious Visions. They've actually confirmed it on their Facebook page. Then they took it down.
They took it down?
They took it down after they confirmed it, which is really stupid.
Wonder why.
Any thoughts? You got to ask. The last time I worked at Vicarious Visions, I don't know. But the thing is, Briar, how do you feel about Vicarious Visions working on it?
It's interesting. I don't really know what they're up to, and I don't know why they announced it. Did they announce it because they're recruiting more people to help finish the game, and they want to let people know that Vicarious Visions might be recruiting people, and they're working on Destiny, and that's why, they put that out publicly? Why did they put that out publicly? But also, what will Vicarious Visions be doing? These guys have developed Nintendo games. They developed Skylanders. They developed old PC games.
That's why I was looking. In my mind, I was like, this is a really weird fit for a Destiny game.
So are they going to be working on a port? Are they going to be helping to port Destiny 2 over to the PC? Or, they've worked on Nintendo games. Are they going to be helping
Nintendo
port
Switch.
Destiny
Nintendo
2
Switch.
to Nintendo Switch?
Yeah.
Or are they just going to be working on building content for the game? Are they going to be helping to build DLCs so that we get them at a faster pace than we got them in the last 2 years? It's interesting. We don't know a whole lot, but it's interesting.
Another rumor that has been kind of floating around the Destiny 2 water cooler is the possibility that Bungie is going to do a complete reset. I know you've heard of this, and you're one of the premier Destiny players in the community. What are your thoughts on them possibly making longtime Destiny players possibly start over with Destiny 2? You think it's even a possibility they would do something crazy like that?
I think it's a possibility. I think it's a likelihood. I actually encourage it. I would like to see that happen. The last thing I want to be doing is be playing 4 years from now or 2 years from now or a year from now with the same fucking weapons I'm playing with now, right?
It's boring to me,
I want to see the game constantly evolving. I want to see Destiny 2 have a bunch of brand new systems that completely blow our minds, that we could have never thought of.
That's what they're saying, too.
Imagine
they're going to
you
change
get a
all
weapon that you fucking love, but then you go out and you find parts for that weapon. You find a barrel that, oh man, this one really increases the range on auto rifles. Imagine you find a stock, it really increases the stability. You find scopes, and you can choose which scope you want to put on your weapon. And not only does it change the characteristics of the weapon, but it changes it visually so that every piece of your weapon feels customized to you, and you really feel like it's your weapon, as opposed to the way it works now is you get a weapon that looks like every other weapon, and it's got a few perks on it that there are, very clearly correct perks for PvP and PvE, but it doesn't really feel like yours. You just feel lucky that you got it to drop. I'd really like to see them move that system on. And in that new system, I don't see the Last Word, I don't see the Thorn, I don't see Hawkmoon, I don't see any of the current weapons fitting in at all. So these are... If you want to play with the Last Word or Galahorn, go back and play Destiny 1. The servers will remain up for years, I'm sure. But Destiny 2, I'd like to see a cut and move on.
So you think that Destiny moving more in the direction of Borderlands, that sounds really interesting to me, to have a weapon that you really, really like, and instead of seeing that weapon go away totally, you can change it to your own specifications depending on the stuff that you find in the world, because Borderlands literally had like 1 million weapons in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Borderlands, I think, is a perfect example. Borderlands is a little different because that weapon drops with all sorts of random shit on it. The Division, I think, is more where I'm pulling this from, because in the Division, you can really modify a weapon that's visually represented in game. And I like that. I don't like the Division's weapons because they're so boring. But I like that system that they use to upgrade. Yeah.
They were actually talking about having a whole new upgrade system as well. So pretty much there's a possibility that Destiny 2 will completely be different from Destiny 1. And I think it's a good thing. I honestly do. One thing that I'll say, because I was talking about it in my video, how excited I'll be to play Destiny 2, is that it's a possibility that nothing will be the same.
Right. I hope nothing is the same, man. I'd love to see it wide open.
Awesome.
Yeah, completely.
Imagine you land in the world and there's NPC characters running around. There's towns. There's imagine it's a much more expansive play space. That's what I'm hoping for. We don't know shit about it yet though, so really it's all speculation at this point.
Well, it's been 6 months since we had a actual meaningful Destiny conversation. We used to, for the new viewers, we used to talk about Destiny on every single show. So every show open with Destiny, and now that we finally have some real, tangible, and exciting news about the future of Destiny, I was really happy to talk about it. Thank you for sharing that with us today, Briar. Now we have a little bit of news for you guys this week on episode 136 of Beastly Thoughts. And Mr. Robbie Skull, would you like to get us started?
Absolutely. So our first story of the day has to do with The Last of Us Part 2, which is probably one of the games I'm the most excited about.
Let me cover this news because I actually did a video on it. Bruce Straley, The Last of Us 2 director Bruce Straley will not be returning to direct The Last of Us Part 2. So this is, I believe, an interview with either Kotaku or Eurogamer. in which they said Bruce Straley, who did direct the original Last of Us, won't be working on The Last of Us 2. I find this not to be true. The reason that I think it's more than likely because Bruce Straley is on a 1-year sabbatical, and The Last of Us 2 is not going to be completed in a year. So he's got a 1-year leave of absence, doing what he needs to do, taking some time off. He's helped develop some of the biggest AAA games over the last couple of years. He deserves time with his family to do the things that he wants to do. He has to live a life. But after 1 year from now, we know that The Last of Us 2 is in very early development. More than likely, Neil Druckmann hasn't, written the entire game. Of course, we know. I'm trying to remember the name. Is it Westworld? Westworld's writer is working with Neil Druckmann writing The Last of Us 2. But Neil Druckmann, but Bruce Straley will be back in a year. And they're saying that when he comes back, he's going to, dust off his mitts and get right back in on his next project. Okay. So after 1 year, he'll be back, and more than likely, he's going to find a nice, comfy spot working on The Last of Us Part 2. And just so people know, The Last of Us Part 1 is the game that really gave Bruce Straley huge notoriety. People know who he is primarily because of the amazing work that was done on The Last of Us. So I think that after a year, he'll come back and find some role. I don't know if it'll be director per se of The Last of Us Part 2, but I read the article and talked about it, and I think that the title of the article can be slightly misrepresenting the actual facts of this situation. So he's gone for a year. This game probably won't see the light of day until 2019. So a year from now, they'll be much further along than they are. And since he's done this process before, he'll probably be able to come back, take a few weeks or a couple of months to get right back comfortable doing what he does best at Naughty Dog, making incredible games. So since I stole that from you, Robbie, you can continue with the next story.
It's all good. Thank you for providing all that, though. That was good.
No problem.
All right. So our next bit of news here, Crackdown 3 will be released holiday 2017 or earlier, thanks to comments from the lead art director and executive producer on the game. It will also be running at a 4K resolution on Xbox Scorpio, which seems kind of obvious to me. Whether that's native or upscaled, I don't know.
It'll probably be native. God, this game has been in development since like 2013.
So it'll probably be native?
2013.
You don't think that the 6 teraflops can run a native 4K?
It depends what the frame rate is, I think, on that.
Yeah.
Native 4K 30, maybe. I doubt even that. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the game. I've never played Crackdown, but it definitely looks cool.
I played the first one. I liked it quite a bit. I heard
the very first Crackdown was really good. Second one was not good, but the first one really, to me, was a pioneer in superhero type open world GTA games. It was really awesome.
I would agree with that. It was a lot of fun.
I look forward to seeing what they do here. I remember the reveal trailer, the thoughts of the cloud and what it can actually do with this game. But at this point, those memories are so far back, it seems nebulous at best. But we'll see what happens. 2017, this game will have been at least in development for 4 years. And so hopefully it's good. Hopefully they can build an actual game around this engine and make it incredible. Especially if, coming to the Xbox Scorpio next year, that's going to be the shit. That's going to be the topic of the year next year. Right around this time, everybody's going to be talking about that Scorpio, and hopefully Microsoft can bring it when it comes to their games and their content.
Yeah, it's going to be big.
That's what she said. Continuing on, Konami files a brand new trademark for TurboGrafx. I heard about this too. Super exciting news for people who are old enough to remember when video games looked like three cards from a deck of cards.
Nobody's excited for another TurboGrafx, man.
Hey,
Nobody.
Man.
There you go.
Nobody's excited for another TurboGrafx.
Come on, man. You didn't play Kid Chameleon. Did you play?
I did. I had a TurboGrafx.
Bonk's Adventure. I mean, TurboGrafx to me at that time, it was something so unique and something so different. I would like to see it. I don't know if they're not going to create new TurboGrafx consoles.
I just want the game cartridges to be the same. The cards, like those little
shit.
Like key cards.
They had, it was like a little old SD card back in the day. It's like
I'm trying to get into a hotel room.
Yeah.
What? Wait, what?
Robbie's not old enough to get into hotels yet, Briar. Don't get him confused. It's like sticking a card back in a deck of cards, Robbie. When you're playing,
it was like the
when you're playing Uno
cartridges
with the
for a TurboGrafx were slim card-shaped things.
Cards, and they would slide in and
like
play
CD,
the game.
like ROMs, like ROM drives or whatever.
No.
Floppy
they were
disks.
cartridges. No, they weren't only floppy.
They weren't like floppy disks. Floppy disks were extremely malleable. You could bend them. These were
I don't know. I didn't exist back then.
Imagine like a badge that you'd get to like go into like a building that had like and you can
Yeah.
swipe it to
Yep.
access doors. That's what these things will look like.
Really?
Yeah.
So, question. What do you think this actually means, Briar? I mean, if you had to guess just out of nowhere, Konami filing a trademark for TurboGrafx, does this mean that they're going to try to remaster and re-release some TurboGrafx games? Do you think they're going to try to go the route of the Nintendo Classic Mini and create a mini TurboGrafx?
I don't know enough about this, right? Is I'd want to know because the TurboGrafx was NEC, right?
Yeah.
They released it. So what I'd want to know is, are they trying to do a console, or are they just going to do like a? Are they just gonna dump a bunch of games out on like a disc and like say the TurboGrafx collection? Like what are they doing? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
The thing is, man, and I know a lot of young people are like, get the hell out of here with this old shit. We want the PlayStation 8.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, I wasn't even born back then. I don't know. I wasn't born when this thing was around, so I don't know.
Well, that's the good thing about gaming history, right? You know, you can learn how we got here. There was a time, Briar remembers, where the future for video gaming was not bright. It was a very, very just dark time for gaming. It was basically
farts.
Yeah,
Jesus.
well. And so, knowing the history of video game consoles that actually came, succeeded, and those that failed can really give you a very open and clear view of how we got here today. Because Nintendo saved the gaming world. They really did with the NES. But up until that point, there were companies coming out and creating consoles. A lot of them failed. And the TurboGrafx 16 was one. It was actually competing against the Sega Genesis and the Super Nintendo. And they ultimately failed. Their games weren't up to par. But it's always good to be able to go back and look. I love getting old stuff like this and letting my kids play it so they can really appreciate what we have now. You know,
that was such a weird console, too. It was like this little tiny console.
Yeah.
And the controllers were like NES controllers, but they had like turbo buttons on them.
What?
Or no, they had switches, right? It's like 1, 2, and 3, depending on how fast you wanted the turbo to be on the button. Yeah. Oh man, what a weird console! I have one still. I should dig it out.
I don't think I've ever seen what it looks like.
I need one.
Google it. It's really weird. And it had this like plastic sleeve, so you plug in all your cables on the back of it, right? And then it had this plastic sleeve
that went
that
over
you slid onto the back of it. It was so fucking cheesy.
What?
Yeah. It only had one controller port too.
Yeah.
So you had to buy like a multi-tap kind of thing.
Don't say words that he doesn't understand. A multi-tap, Brian.
Multi-tap? Really? Yeah, he doesn't know multi-tap either, right?
He thinks that's like an orgy or something. Look.
What the fuck? I wasn't thinking that at all, but okay.
Multi-tap.
I'm not tapping that ass. I mean, it's just some hardware thing.
I'm really excited to see what they're going to do here. I love old consoles, and for you young people, learn the history, learn how we got here, learn how there's guys in their mid-30s talking about, you know, Nintendo on YouTube and being successful at it. It's because this whole genre has become one of the most meaningful ones in, I think, modern times. And of course, TurboGrafx played a small part in that.
Very small.
All right, so
there's like one notable game on that console. It was Bonk.
What was Kid Chameleon too, though, right?
I wouldn't call that notable.
Maybe it's just one of the titles I remember.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the only reason it's notable.
What was the one that shipped with it? I can't even remember the name of that game. Man,
it wasn't notable.
Yeah, it wasn't notable.
This is actually exciting news. I've been wondering what was going to happen with the month of November as far as NPD sales go with the main consoles. I'll say the big three minus one. The PS4 has now passed 50 million consoles sold worldwide as of December 6th. This accounts for both the standard PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Pro. 50 million.
That's a big number, man.
Let me just say that the PlayStation...
They didn't break it out, like how many of those are pros?
No. But I would surmise that a lot of them were. Because Xbox beat PlayStation for I think the last 4 months in a row.
They did. Yeah.
So to them, PlayStation's been in the Twilight Zone, you know, in a rerun episode every single month. So the PlayStation 4 Pro obviously shook things up a little bit. I'll be more excited to see what happens with this month with Christmas.
When did the PlayStation Slim release?
September,
and PlayStation has beaten Xbox 4 months in a row?
Yep. No, Xbox has beat PlayStation.
Other way around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Xbox has beaten PlayStation even with the Pro out?
The Pro since November 10th.
Not this month.
The Pro won November.
Oh, okay.
But the 4 months prior, Xbox did win.
Yeah, that
Yes.
makes sense to me. I mean, the Xbox One Pro or S is a
S is-
compelling system.
It is, man. I just for people who don't know, I do a lot of videos on Saturday. Throughout the week, I don't have time. Sorry, but in a video I did this morning, I actually mentioned that the Xbox One S is one of the most compelling consoles this generation. Period.
Yeah.
It one ups the original Xbox One. The form factor is beautiful. It's a very stylish console, right?
Yeah, it looks
it
great,
has
yeah.
it has an upgraded controller. It has Ultra HD 4K Blu-ray player installed, and it streams in 4K, making it the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player you can buy on the market that happens to also have an Xbox One inside of it.
Yeah.
There's really no, for a person who just wants the newest games and doesn't care about, PlayStation 4 as far as, checkerboard rendering, the Xbox One S is a very, very compelling system.
And
That's
any
why I
game
think,
you buy for your S is going to work on your Scorpio if you're planning on.
that's why I'm thinking that this
Yeah,
month,
baby.
if Microsoft is able to win this month, Sony's going to be in a lot of trouble, because that initial drive and fervor of people going out and buying the PlayStation 4 Pro in November around the 10th when it first came out, people know what it is. Everybody's not really super duper hyped going to the store right now to buy it. Of course, you're going to find some deals around the holiday Christmas time, but I think that the Xbox One has more staying power when it comes to being a hot button or a hot ticket item because of everything that comes inside that box. So I think it's really possible that Xbox could win the month of November. I mean, December, I'm sorry.
And then if it continues winning, because, it is a compelling product, that S is a compelling product, and then you got the Scorpio coming out next year, man. Like, man, things look shitty for Sony. Like, they got their exclusives, and I honestly think they got better exclusives than Xbox does.
Of course they
But
do.
Xbox
They have
and their
so many-
cross-platform play with the PC and like the cross
Very,
buying with the
very,
PC.
yeah.
Like if you can buy Gears of War or Forza for your Xbox and you play it on PC as well for free,
Quantum
and
Break,
vice
all that
versa.
stuff.
Like that's
That's
amazing. Like, man,
They're making the Xbox. It's very hard not to look at Xbox and say that what you get for that value, the value that you get when you buy one, isn't incredible. If you have a Windows 10 gaming PC or PC period, you buy an Xbox game, you can take your laptop with you to school, and you'll have the
can
same
you
game.
even if you're playing on PC, can't you use your Xbox to
Cross-save.
stream the game?
Yeah, you
your
can. I do
TV?
that. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
That's
Stream it
fucking, I gotta
directly from
start
your
doing that,
Xbox.
man. I gotta move my Xbox is sitting right here, and I never play it. I gotta move that thing down in the living room so I can just stream PC games.
It works really well. I didn't think
I
it
gotta
would.
try
And
that.
I'm talking months ago when I was trying it. When I tried it months ago, it worked really well. And if you're living in a part of the United States that has 500 megabytes of upload speed, like
What about
Briar.
Canada?
Oh, I said America. Sorry.
Canada is a country too.
It is.
It
I thought
is?
it was like a state or something.
We both said it is at the same time. Hey, man, don't maybe bring Terrence and Phillip out.
A
on
very
your-
cold, wintry state, yes, with moose running around everywhere.
I don't even think
Eating
it
maple
depends
syrup.
on what your internet speed is. It's all about your local network, right?
Yeah,
Like how
it's the
fast your
local-
Wi-Fi
the local
and your local
Wi-Fi
network
yeah.
is. And I got a cable that runs from my router right here all the way down to the living room. All the way.
You'd be golden then. Yeah, you'd have it right there.
Golden.
It's virtually no latency or lag. It'll
Yeah.
work well. Let me know what you think when you see that.
I'm gonna give it a shot. Last time I tried something like that was with the PlayStation Vita TV. That thing was garbage. That thing
That
was
was such
fucking
a
terrible.
weird device.
I just ran
yeah.
across it. I've got this like trunk that has a bunch of like shit in it basically, and I was rummaging through it looking for a long USB cable, and I ran across that PlayStation Vita TV thing. And I was like, "Fuck this thing!"
You just got angry.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Where do you store your Ouya? Just out of curiosity.
That's very, very close to the Vita, right next door. That controller, man. I actually ran into that controller like a month ago. I was laughing because it's such a fucking ridiculous controller. Like you gotta like peel the sides off to get to the batteries, and there's like one AAA on each
So
side.
weird.
It was so
That
fucking
is
weird.
It's
Yeah.
funny though.
They tried and they failed. I don't know if
Hey,
you guys
you
watched.
can't blame them for giving a shot.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. Ouya is more relevant than it's ever been. That thing is huge.
No, I think you mean when Macho Man Randy Savage says, "Ooh yeah," he's not talking about.
Oh yeah.
He's not
He
talking
wasn't
about.
promoting the
Ooh yeah.
Ouya. No, that's just him being him. No.
Continuing on, Nintendo has shown off more of the Nintendo Switch ahead of their presentation
Yeah,
on
did you
July
guys see
12th.
that?
In an episode of
Yeah.
Tonight Show, showing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild running on the console in real time. Now, they showed it on a big
not
screen.
July. January.
I'm sorry, January. The
Okay.
Jays. Oh my God, I'm high as hell. I was smoking.
It's all good.
Smoking a case of diapers. I watched this on Kimmel, and basically they showed it on a giant screen running. Reggie Fils-Aimé was playing it with the Nintendo Switch pad controller,
Yeah,
and what everybody was waiting
like
for
the Pro
was
controller, right?
yeah, the Pro controller.
Yeah.
They took it out. They took the little monitor, the tablet out of the docking station. He pushed a button or two. It didn't really show what he pushed, but he handed it over, and it played, and it played well. You know,
Yeah.
on the
So
on,
seamless. I'm so
on-
excited. Oh
on
my
the
God, it was
handheld
so good.
system. The thing was, right, when they showed the Nintendo Switch reveal commercial, everything that we saw on screens was superimposed from other sources, more than likely.
Right.
And it felt really good to see The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild actually running on Switch hardware
They finally showed it.
and running well and looking like the actual game that you see on the big screen or on your home monitor. What was your initial thoughts of this kind of reveal?
I was wondering. So they show off Zelda. Like, is this game going to be a release game or not? That's what I want to
It
know
better.
at this point. Because if they
don't
showed
think
that
so.
in the lead up, like if that's their selling game, right? That thing's better be packed in or at least available at launch. And I just keep hearing rumors about it being delayed.
Yeah.
Phew. They better have something strong for their launch window. They
Gotta have a
to.
launch. They gotta have a game at launch.
They
I would
better
hope they
have
have 2 or 3.
Zelda.
Either the new Mario or the Zelda Breath of the Wild needs to be
They gotta
released
have one of those.
Or
when they
both.
release this thing in March. Yeah, in March. If they do that, it's a win-win for them.
Yeah. I mean, these guys
there
are
was-
against the ropes. Nintendo is on the ropes right now.
They are. You know.
I mean, they
So,
gotta get
Hollow
they gotta
Creed,
get something to stick. The last thing they've had stick is the fucking 3DS, and that thing. I mean,
that was 200
how
years
long
ago.
can
when
it
came out.
last?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think it was actually on the boat with Noah. The 3DS is so old.
No
Um,
Stark.
But there's
So
one
it's
thing
still
that
got fucking seawater in it.
yeah. I did a story on this today. It seems that the Nintendo Switch actually will be slightly different in its handheld form than it performs on the home console docking station.
There's a rumor,
Appar-
right?
It's a rumor, but it's coming from a very reputable source at Nintendo. Apparently, the docking station does more than just transfer the image from the handheld device to the TV screen. Apparently, it has fans installed in it to keep the console cool because
Does it have extra processing power though? That's what I want to know.
overclocks the GPU.
It adds. It gives it more power, right?
It gives
this
it
is the,
more
This is the
power.
rumor. Is it gives it more power so that the GPU can run at a higher clock cycle. It doesn't overclock anything. It just allows it to run at a higher. It gives it more power to allow it to run faster.
Yeah, well, that's
a
basically
big
what
deal.
the article said.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a great idea. Some people might say, well, the handheld needs to perform exactly the same. Not necessarily, especially when you see the way the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was actually playing on the handheld. It looks like it runs well enough, as good, if not better, than what we've seen on modern handhelds.
Yeah.
And the fact that it could possibly run even better when you connect it to your HD television because these fans are allowing it to run at a higher power usage and get more out of the console. I think it's really smart on Nintendo. I'm really excited still to see if this thing is using AMD's Tegra X1 or X2 chip. Because a lot of people were saying before this reveal was that the Tegra X1 would not be able to compete with its contemporaries, meaning PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But from what I've seen, it looks good enough to me to definitely be a contender against these I guess what we call modern home consoles.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exciting.
That
That's the
frankly,
hope.
that target is moving too because
Yeah,
we
it's
already have the
definitely-
PS Pro, and
upgraded
next year
hardware
we're getting the
coming.
Scorpio.
Yeah. And I think that's a give and take that a lot of gamers are going to be willing to accept.
That's funny,
The fact that you can actually take this thing on the go, you wouldn't expect it to look the same way that a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One game looks, and it looks as good as it does. And I think that's kind of the give and take that people are just going to willfully accept. I know I am. I'm excited about the Nintendo Switch. And from
I
what
am
I've seen
too.
so far, I tried to talk to Kate. I said, we need 2. She said, we need 1. I said, we need, she said, shut up. I said, all right. So we're going to get 1. But I'm excited. March is a very important time for me because I've
It's
always been a big
so
Nintendo fan.
soon too.
I'm really
Oh my
excited about
god.
what the Switch is going to bring to us. Let me see the next little bit of news. In addition to High Moon Studios, Vicarious Visions will now be working alongside Bungie on the future of Destiny, including the unannounced Destiny sequel. We talked about this earlier. If you guys have anything else to add to the story, you certainly can.
No, I think we covered it well enough, right? Like, I mean, we have Bungie, we have High Moon, and now we have Vicarious Visions. We don't really know to an extent, what High Moon and Vicarious Visions are doing. But that's a big team for one game. So I wonder, like, how big is it really going to be? Because that's a lot of people
Well,
working
it's
on
more
one
than
project.
just a game, right? It's the DLC that they're planning on releasing after. The biggest complaint Destiny players have
True.
is that there's not enough content coming out regularly.
Mhm.
And I think that Activision knows this, Bungie knows this, and that one of their plans moving forward with Destiny 2 is to make sure that that's not a problem, that they consistently have new DLC constantly coming out.
Yeah,
I'm excited about it.
I think
And
you're right
Brian,
on that.
you touched on something exactly what I said in my video about it. Destiny's a great game, but after you finish the initial experience, you get tons of fun in monthly spurts. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm not discounting the people who play it all year long because they're having fun continually. They found something about the game that brings them back. And so everybody's different in gaming. But for me, the thing that I said kind of pulled me away was every 3 or 4 months, that's when you're going to get this boom of excitement about Destiny. Once you go through some of the things, you've seen all they have to offer. And so that's kind of exactly what you just said. I totally agree. The last little bit of news we have today, DICE has confirmed this week that Star Wars Battlefront 2 will have a single-player campaign in addition to a complete multiplayer.
Thank you.
No, no other details were given. Side note, Briar, have you had the opportunity to play Star Wars Battlefront VR?
No,
Actually,
I haven't. I got to do that. That's free, right? You don't even have to own Battlefront, do you?
Yeah, it's free.
You do have to own Battlefront.
Oh, you got to own Battlefront. Okay.
but
Oh.
I
Battlefront's $20.
liked Battlefront. I didn't buy it though. I played the beta and I was like, okay, I feel like this is all that it really has to offer. I'm
That's
a huge
right.
Star
Another-
Wars
You're
fan.
right. It was,
I know I'm
yeah.
right.
There's
You are
another
right.
game I bought
the
that I
whole
didn't get a
game is
chance
a
to-
beta. It is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next revision of Battlefront because if they're gonna add, some story and they're gonna add some single player, plus they're gonna
Star Wars.
expand on the multiplayer, like this. Battlefront was cool, man. As far as tech goes, like it was unbelievable. The graphics and the weapon sounds and like
And it was
how everything
Star
interacted
Wars.
with each other was so cool. But
It
there
felt
just
like
wasn't
Star
enough
Wars.
there, right? There just
Yeah.
wasn't enough there. And
I
now
totally
give
agree.
them a couple more years, adding more stuff to that. Oh yeah, this game is going to be a blockbuster.
Well,
I'm excited.
The thing is, Star Wars Battlefront did extremely well. It's so insane. But the thing that still strikes me to this day is very, very strange about that whole situation was it's a Star Wars game without a story. Star Wars is the story.
Yeah,
And that's
it's about
what
the lore.
the Star Wars mythos and franchise and series and ecosystem have kept people engaged and excited for generations.
Yeah.
Right? It's been out for decades, and to release a beautiful Star Wars game that has none of that, and pretty much your only motivation is to get out there and shoot the bad guy, it left a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
Now-
I played the beta. I played it with you guys, and I was having
Yeah, you
a
played
ball.
with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I was having
was
a
very
ball
fun.
playing that. Like the multiplayer maps were fun. There was like these weird single player missions that you could kind of do that they were kind of lame, but it was still cool to be in that world and using those Star Wars weapons, be surrounded by Hoth and Tatooine, and it was just graphically and immersively unbelievable.
Yeah, totally.
So if they can take that tech, what they developed for Battlefield 1 and move it to Battlefield 2 with and just add more stuff and make it a better value, I'm no doubt I'm signing
All
up.
in.
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a goddamn hyper nerd.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to
Star
see
Wars
Rogue?
means a lot to me too.
Are you going to see Rogue One this month, Brian?
Less
Oh
than a
yeah,
week
totally,
away.
absolutely. I'm bringing the
so
kids.
close.
We're gonna make a day of it. I'm gonna buy the big popcorn tub.
Free
know it.
refills.
You're a good father, Briar.
Oh, yeah.
Love you. That's
Make
awesome.
sure you
I got my
teach the
moments,
boys-
Robbie.
I'm proud of you. Yeah, I'm proud of you for those moments.
Make sure when you send the boys back to get the refill. That's what a good parent always does. You look over at the kids and say, all the popcorn's gone. Go get some more, goddammit. Make sure you explain to them that you tell the host or the person serving the popcorn halfway through filling up that bucket, put some butter in that shit, and then
Put
do it
some
again.
butter in that shit, man.
It should be a rap song.
Yeah.
Butter up my popcorn, baby.
He turned it into a porn. Now the thing is, I really quickly wanted to go over something with you guys. We mentioned it last week, and if you guys want, we can do it next week or sometime before Christmas. But our Game of the Year contenders. I know we're a little over what we normally do, but I wanted to quickly give you guys my Game of the Year, the closest games that were in contention for this Game of the Year for me, and some runners up that I may have played quite a bit, but I haven't had the chance to totally complete. So my competition for Game of the Year was summed up in 5 games. And if there's one that I played, I talked a lot about, I just can't remember at this point. But it was Doom, Uncharted 4, Dishonored 2,
Okay.
Overwatch, and Odin Spear Leaferseer. A lot of people don't know how to say that.
All right, you lost me there at the end a little bit, but
Me too. Yeah.
Well,
but hey, it's your personal list, man. That's fine.
Yeah. And it's a game that means something to me. I played the original Odin Spear on PS2. Playing this game on PS4 was really incredible to me. But all these games were amazing. Uncharted 4 was my Game of the Year pick. Just based on everything it had to offer. It offered incredible graphics, a very tight gameplay, an engaging story, likable characters, and dislikable characters. A lot of times when people do reviews and they think about games, they talk about character development, as in the character that you like or you grow to love. There are characters in this game that you grow to hate, that you actually start. You start off actually liking or having a big question mark about.
It's just like this podcast.
Yeah, Robbie. And Joe. But
Get your shit together.
Another game that was in the contention for winner for me was Dishonored 2, a game that I just recently beat. As someone who never beat the original Dishonored, playing Dishonored 2, you didn't have to know what the original story was. It created its own in a mythology that was easily followable. The decisions you make throughout the game by either picking a father or daughter who are actually royalty, the people who you decide to leave alive had a real strong impact on the end of the game. And if you decided to kill people, the end of the game would change. Had tons of very unique mechanics. It's a stealth game, but it didn't have to be. You can run and gun it as long as you know what you're doing. The parry mechanic and all these invisibility, all this crazy stuff that you can do with the game just made it a ton of fun for me, and I really enjoyed playing it. And of course, Doom was another runner-up. And we talked about this last week. This game probably didn't get enough attention this year, but Doom, as far as first-person shooters go, was one of my favorite of the year. It's a beautiful game. It brought back all the nostalgia of the original Doom series. It made me feel like I was watching the true evolution of what was on the PC 25, 30 years ago. It's just, it was really amazing how they were able to dig down deep to the core and the heart of what made Doom amazing and not put in a lot of other stuff to detract from that. Most developers, when they reboot a franchise, barring Tomb Raider, they'll add all this new stuff to make it look better and sound better and take the story in a different direction, versus add the things that made the game a cult classic to start with. Doom was a cult classic, and a lot of people still play it to this day, the original, and they kept every meaningful aspect of the original games fully intact for this Doom, and only improved on mechanics and gameplay that pre-existed. So to me, Doom was a huge contender for Game of the Year, and it's at this point, it would be my second top. And another game that's very similar to me, of course, it doesn't look quite as good, and it left a lot to be desired, was Overwatch. I spent tons of hours playing Overwatch this year, and for me, it was everything I thought I hated, but I ended up loving. It's really weird. I told you guys before, Overwatch is an online-only experience. There's no campaign. If you want to learn about the characters, you can watch them in 5 or 10 minute videos uploaded from YouTube that explain what these characters are doing, what their motivations are. But the gameplay and the unadulterated fun that goes along with it. This is one of those games that you can just sum it up in one word: fun. It's so good to get in there and play and learn what someone's Achilles heel is and what characters you can use to obtain certain advantages over others. It was just a very, very, it was an amazing experience for me, Overwatch, because I didn't think I would like an online-only game with no campaign. And my runners-up, and these are unfinished games. Some of them I've been close to completing, but I spent a lot of time playing them so far, barring one. The runners-up are The Last Guardian, which I just talked to you guys about at the beginning of the show. Incredible game. I don't know if I'll have to change my game of the year after I end up completing this game. Another game would be Street Fighter V. As an old school Capcom fan and the Street Fighter series, I love what they did with Street Fighter V. I do dislike some of the aspects of the game that were missing, a real tangible, meaningful campaign or arcade mode. But the overall mechanics that made Street Fighter amazing over the last few decades were faithfully crafted into Street Fighter V in very meaningful ways. It was a true evolution to me of a fighting game. And Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3, I didn't get as much time playing it, but the time that I did, it's in the living room waiting on me now. I didn't have as much time playing the game as I would have liked. There's a lot of things going on with me this year. But what I did play, I had no issue with. I thought it was very fun, a very beautiful game, and brutally difficult. And that's the thing that really solidifies it to me as one of the great games of the year. My brother is actually playing Dark Souls 3 right now. He's playing Dark Souls 3. He just beat Bloodborne.
Joe, you know who you are.
Is Joe making a comeback?
He is. I don't know.
He's getting his shit together?
His wife said since he's been playing this PS4 and this PlayStation VR, not one load of laundry's been done. So I don't know what's going on with him. But
Joe
tripping. But he told me that Bloodborne was actually one of the best games he's ever played in his life. So from someone,
I wish that game had gotten a PS Pro update.
Oh wow, it didn't? Oh man,
the frame rate on that game was so bad. Like, if they had given it an update, just increase that frame rate. Imagine. I
didn't even think the frame rate so much in that game. I thought it was more when it would stutter. I guess it kind of is the same thing, but like I noticed that a lot too.
It absolutely is the same thing. But those are my game of the year. If you guys want to maybe next week talk about yours, I'm pretty sure you guys didn't have too much time. I just kind of jotted down at the beginning of the show the stuff that I played and I really enjoyed. And I'm happy I was able to share it with you guys.
I could go quick if you want.
That's what you said. Sure.
I like quickies. They're fun. Anyways. All right. So there were a couple games this year that really stood out for me. I think I've played a lot of games that I really enjoyed, but nothing like, really captivated me, except a couple games. So I think it comes down between 4. Uncharted 4, Dark Souls 3, Inside, and Battlefield 1. Oh, hold on a sec. This is a horrible timing.
So what was your game of the year pick, Robbie?
My mom says it's fine. Never mind. Sorry, that was a horrible interruption. But
Bye, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had to pick one, I'd say Uncharted 4 because I love that franchise a lot, and it's one of my favorite in gaming, and that game lived up to my expectations. Everything from, I thought the game was incredibly fun to play, the level design was well done. I mean, I just love the characters. I love Nate and Sam and Elena and everyone. I think they're great, and the story really wrapped up nicely for me too, which I was so happy to see. But that's got to be my game of the year. Huge shout out to Battlefield 1 though. That game had an emotional story. Like that legitimately got me choked up. That was incredible.
I agree with you on game of the year, but I'll say I don't think that Uncharted 4 lived up to the hype. I think that they exceeded what people expected. There were a lot of people out there talking about the fact that Amy Hennig left or was forced out over at Naughty Dog would have real long-lasting and negative ramifications on the game. And so that was out there in the air, that this game might be different. It might not work. New writers, Neil Druckmann's going to make it real dark. It won't have the same feel. But to me, it overshadowed everybody's expectations at that point. And it's really a great game.
I had real problems with that game. I had real problems with Uncharted 4.
Keep it real, Briar.
Hey, and I can totally understand why somebody would absolutely love where that story went, but I found it very disappointing. And and that's a personal preference thing. I gotta imagine. For me, I haven't played all the games that came out this year. I'm so focused on Destiny. I'm still playing games from 2015. But from the games I have played, there's only one game that really stands out. Like it's just being absolutely fantastic, and it's Doom. It's a personal thing because it really just captured what I loved about Doom when it first came out in the 90s, and I played it for the first time. It so perfectly captured that, but also brought it into, it brought in modern gaming themes and modern gaming, pieces that really just it opened it up in a way that was just fantastic. It runs super smooth.
So
it's
good.
fun. It's fast. The music is like outstanding. The sound effect, it's just like everything about the single player campaign of that game. It just nails it perfectly.
They brought it back so well. They really did. That would be my other nomination. I totally forgot that. Yeah, Doom is another one I loved.
You know, in fact, it's got me on this like thing where have you guys seen Strafe that's coming out? I think it's coming out next year. They unveiled it at PSX for the PlayStation. It looks like Doom old school, right? It looks like almost Doom or Quake old school.
No, I know what you're talking about, yeah.
But it's also like a roguelike with like on the fly generated levels. Like I'm excited to play that just because I got so into Doom, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I love these games that play like tight and awesome and fun. And that's one of my problems with, you know, a lot of the games that come out these days is that they have these great stories, but the actual gameplay
leaves something to be desired.
You know, Uncharted. I got through Uncharted because like I wanted to find out what was going to happen in the story, right? I really wanted to find out. But I found myself often struggling, like, okay, here we are in another climbing section, and I'm just going to hold up and like watch him climb.
Yeah,
you know?
like, I got you on that.
And, you know, that game, the systems in that game haven't really changed since Uncharted 2. And if they're going to make more of those, and I know they are, because we saw, you know, the next one, I really want them to, like, take a step in the gameplay direction. Make the shooting fun. You know, like, that's a big thing.
Yeah. I got you.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to pick a game of the year because I haven't played Dark Souls 3 at all. I haven't even touched it.
You had a great pick, Brian.
It's excellent.
I can't say anything negative about it. I mean, to me,
I could talk about the multiplayer and how it's kind of meh.
It's fun, but it's not amazing.
To me, of course, the single player is a lot better than the multiplayer, but it's just an added bonus. For people who play the single player and have gone through the story a couple of times and still want to experience the game and the engine in a different kind of way, the multiplayer is just an extra side to an amazing dish we already love. And that's what I said in my review of Doom as well. Now, before we leave the show today, I wanted to quickly ask everybody out there watching on Twitch and watching on YouTube after this live video, what was your game of the year? Are you playing it now? Have you already played it? What was amazing to you? What was a game that made you proud to be a gamer, that made you stand up and say, my God, I can't believe I had an experience like that? Let us know what you think in the comments. I'm looking forward to it because more than likely, some of you guys have been playing games that I've never heard of that could be really amazing. It could open new doors in gaming for the three hosts of the Beastly Thought Show.
Yeah, love it.
Is it cheating to say that Witcher 3 is my game of the year?
I don't think it's wrong to say that. No.
Right? I mean, the Game Awards
That's
gave
your
it
game?
the expansion.
That was your personal game of the year. Yeah, that's what you played this year and enjoyed. So I think that is valid, honestly.
It's a tie
You're
then.
right.
Doom and Witcher 3.
Hey, I totally respectable. Blood and Wine, the DLC, got RPG of the year. So, yeah.
That's fucked, though.
I 100%.
That was a little. I was like, really?
I respect it.
Really?
Really? Are you really going to give it to that? Yeah.
But there's
Are you really excited for Final Fantasy 15?
There's a lot of people who played Blood and Wine, Witcher 3, and really thought it was Game of the Year. So, I mean, you kind of got to sit back and kind of look at it objectively and say, yeah, it came out this year. It's as big as a real game, and people really, really enjoyed it. So, and I have it. I've never tried it because I suck.
Yeah, I have it too, but I just haven't gotten that far in the game yet. I just got to Skellige. I've been having fun. Having fun with those games.
Yeah.
I mean, we kept it pretty much on point today. I mean, very few penises were mentioned. I mean, a couple.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we were talking about your
not do it.
Your
it wouldn't
internet
be this show without it.
It started with you, Briar. You actually opened the can of worms with Cox. Then I talked about those dicks AT&T, and then but I'm not going to mention this pussy, Robbie.
Yeah.
Love you, Robbie.
Damn. Wow.
Hey, you know what? Cox Internet. Can't get
Thug
Whoa.
life, man. Thug life. Word. I had to put my mask on. Hi from Robbie from now on.
Wait, what did I say? What's wrong? Okay.
Oh, nothing, Robbie. We all love you here in America. These
That's
Americas are extremely inclusive, and we enjoy your company. Thank you for being an integral part of the Beastly Thoughts live show.
Keep on believing.
Especially, don't stop believing.
Okay,
That's how you do it, Robbie.
Yeah.
All right, should we wrap it up? What do you think? Are we
Raspberry.
done? Are we done making fun
Nice
of
and
Robbie? You
Let's end
last
this-
licks in before next week.
Last
Get-
Canadian joke before we end it. Let's get one in. Think of a good one. I'll give you guys some time. Think of a good one.
I can't think of one. I'm on the spot now. I got nothing. I'm a blank.
give
I'm
me
drawing
a-
a blank.
Just take a minute. Just take a minute.
All I can think is Justin Bieber jokes.
No,
It's not bad. Hey, I got to tell you, that's not bad.
we have no jokes for Canada, the leader, and of course, greatest country and leader of the free world.
Yeah. Also, my visa is pending.
Oh, wow. DJ Man in the chat said, Quickies, dicks, and cocks. Yep, that's a solid podcast.
All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out.
We have to hit all
Yeah.
those bullet points.
We got to
throughout
check
the-
all the boxes. Yeah, we got to
check
do that every time. Quickies, dicks, and cocks.
All right. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.
These guys.
Take care, guys.